I'm at Cisco Live 2014. I'm with Tony Despirito, VP of Global Alliances at Schneider Electric.
Hi, Damien.
Hi, Tony. Can you tell me why this relationship with Cisco is such an important relationship? Why is it good for Schneider, and why is Schneider good for Cisco?
Absolutely. So Schneider Electric, we are really uniquely qualified in the Internet of Things space in that we bridge the gap between operational technology and informational technology. So our systems, be it factory automation or industry or smart grid, those systems sense the entire environment and they translate all of that information. They need to translate through something. So an IP network, Cisco being the IP provider of choice for the rest of the world, seems like a logical partner. In addition to using Cisco in our solutions, we're bringing Cisco into places where traditionally they haven't been. So IP on the factory floor, or IP in a mining or a smart grid environment hasn't traditionally been there. We're bringing Cisco into these customers. They in turn are bringing us to the C-suites of many of these customers where Schneider doesn't have the relationship. So when you think of Schneider as a traditional industrial company, we're the ones that bridge that operational technology gap between operational technology and information technology, and Cisco is our IP provider of choice.
There was a stat pumped around earlier about, I think it was 50 billion connected devices. How are those devices going to contribute to increased operational efficiency, for example?
So if you want to achieve efficiency, the first thing you have to do is measure your environment and get a baseline of what you're actually doing, no matter what process, factory automation or smart grid or data centers or a hospital, you've got to sense and measure the environment. Only when you're measuring the environment and getting all of that data can you start to do certain actions that change your environment. So you want to sense the data, you want to manage your environment, ultimately change your environment and become more efficient. The basic building block is having a good understanding and a good measurement of whatever that environment is. That's where Schneider comes in with all of our different solutions, putting forth all of this data, communicating that data over a Cisco IP network into some analytics platform. Could be SAP, could be IBM, could be any one of the analytics platforms.
So what you're saying, if I've read you correctly, is that more data helps you to make, or more data, more information, better decision making. But I have a sense that, are we in danger of getting into information overload or data overload? And how can we really tell what's good data and what's not useful data for making decisions?
That's an excellent, excellent question. You're right, with 50 billion connected devices, you certainly run the risk of information overload. Now, I've heard John Chambers from Cisco speak about what's going to drive the Internet of Everything, and he talks about all the connected devices, but he talks about it being an application-driven environment. So you and I, as users, would have an application or a window into this data. What happens behind the scenes and the analytics and the processing of that data, turning the data into actionable information, that's the key of the Internet of Everything. The application gives us a window, and behind the scenes are all the analytics platforms that make sense of all this data, turning it into actionable information. That's where, quite frankly, the money is to be made in the Internet of Things, is all of that processing, turning all of that data into true actionable information.